Hey, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19 Cousins, folks. This is a Fever post-game video after a win against the Dallas Wings, 110-109. This time, both teams hit 100 plus. All three games between the Wings and the Fever this year, the winner hit 100 points. The losers had 93, 93, and 109. So they haven't been lacking for points. And I know for a lot of people, the higher scoring, the better. That is the pure entertainment of it all. But well, we're gonna dig in. I'm gonna find out in the comments what kind of Fever fans I have because I've noticed there are the Fever fans that are normal sports fans. They've been fans of other teams, other sports, other players, and they get the whole idea of sports fandom. And I've noticed there's a subset though that do not tolerate or appreciate any criticism of the Fever, no matter how constructive or positive. So, because look, I get it from just a pure sit back, watch, want to be entertained perspective. Great game, right? You loved it. High score and lots of points. Both teams are making a lot of shots. It's fun to watch. I always watch, and I've always had. And I think some of you have noticed it in other videos, and sometimes it's why I notice things that aren't always that obvious. I've always watched. I think it's from my dad, my older brother. I've always watched things almost from a coaching slash scouting perspective. So I will pick out certain things. I have a really interesting stat for you that I just haven't figured out yet exactly what it means, other than it stood out and it's fascinating. But we'll get to that. But look, it was a huge win. I don't like Dallas with 109 points, 34, 25, 24, 26. That's where we get into a little bit. Look, these are clearly the two worst defensive teams in the league, and it showed. They're also two of the best offensive teams in the league, and it showed. I didn't check. Sorry, I should have. I didn't check exactly where Dallas is at this point. I think Indiana's number three. I believe they've actually climbed all the way up to three in points scored. I think Dallas might be four. I think like Indiana's at like 84 points. Dallas is on like 83 and a half or something like that. But unfortunately, they're not always going to play the Dallas Wings, and the Wings scoring 109 points isn't just because they're pretty good offensively. It also had to do with some serious issues by the Indiana Fever defensively. You know, it looked a lot more like an NBA All-Star game than the next to last regular season game in the WNBA. I mean, we'll start with these. Look at these numbers from the Wings. I'll just run through that the starters real quick. Howard, 10 of 20. Sab- Sabali, Sabah. I've heard it both multiple ways. I have never heard Satu say it, so I'm not sure which one is actually correct. So I'll just keep saying Satu. 9 of 14. McGowan, 6 of 8. Arike, 10 of 17. Only Jay Sheldon, she's not really a scorer. She's more of a traditional point guard. She runs the floor, plays really good hard defense. 2 of 8. So but Brown, one of their subs, 3 of 3. I mean, these are just crazy for the entire team to shoot like that. When you look at all the threes they shot, 5 of 8, 5 of 10. My goodness, they were 11 of 24 from three, 46% from three, 42 of 74 overall, 57%. So what is that from two? I'm not even going to try and figure out what that is from two, but it's a lot. Oh, wait, I think I can because that's 50 shots even. 42 minus 11, 31, 31 of 50, 62% from two. That's crazy. Are you kidding me? How do you allow that, Indiana Fever? That's insane. 26, 27, 14, 27. That is crazy. That is crazy. Now, it's not exactly like we were lacking either, right? Caitlin Clark had a career high, 35 points, also had 8 assists, 3 steals, 10 of 22 from the field, 6 of 14 from three, 9 and 9 from the line. Kelsey Mitchell, 12 of 21, 6 of 12 from three, 30 points. Mitchell and Clark had 65 points, folks, in 66 minutes. Boston had really what was a quiet game just because of the way Mitchell and Clark were lighting it up with 15 points. She did only have 6 rebounds and only 2 of them defensively. That's really weird. Now, granted, the Dallas Wings and, to be fair, the Indiana Fever both shot so lights out. The defense was lacking as well, that there weren't a whole lot of rebounds to be had, but they gave up way too many offensive rebounds. That was a huge issue. In fact, look at that. 11 offensive rebounds for the Dallas Wings. Get this, folks. This is a crazy stat. I made a note of this because I don't know if I've seen this before. I wasn't looking, but still. The Dallas Wings had, oh, I'm sorry. The Indiana Fever did not have a defensive rebound the entire first quarter. How weird is that? The Wings shot 13 of 16. I think it was 13 of 16. That, that can't be right. 13 of 19, and grabbed 5 offensive boards. The other was where it ended up being a jump ball with Lexi Hull, so there wasn't a rebound on it. That's crazy. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen a team go an entire quarter without a defensive rebound. Um, Melissa Smith, she's an enigma, folks. I mean, she sometimes she does some things so well, and even in the same outing, she can do some things that you're like, wow, she's really playing well now, and then she'll just like play no defense at all or something. It was weird. But I mean, if I just glance at the stats, I can't fault her. 4 of 7 for 8 points in 19 minutes, grabbed 6 rebounds, had a block. 0 for 2 from the line again, though. We're not liking that. But again, the Fever shot really well too. Not quite as well as Dallas. Well, a little better from 3 actually. Dallas shoots 46% at 3, and the Fever beat that. 16 of 34, 47.1%. 38 of 76, 50% from the field. By the way, 18 of 21 from the line, 85.7%. If they had done that, not even that, you could have taken away 2 of them. If they had gone 16, if they had 16 against the Aces, they would have won that game. But yeah, it was a weird one. Oh, by the way, just to rattle off couple of more numbers that were positive things. Caitlin has the rookie points record now, 761. As we know, she's just adding to the WNBA assist record. She's at 329. And by the way, most points in a game by a rookie this season, Caitlin Clark with 35, which came today, which, by the way, is a career high. And then after that, it's 31, Caitlin Clark, 30, Caitlin Clark, 30, Caitlin Clark, 29, Caitlin Clark, 29, Caitlin Clark, 28, Caitlin Clark. Oh, wow. But we'll talk about the officiating a little bit. It was absolutely embarrassingly terrible, per usual. Sides, once again, not defending her team. The one time she did actually challenge a call, I will say she was right, but they upheld it anyway. That was an absolute terrible call against Aaliyah Boston. I tell you what, Aaliyah Boston, it must be maybe it's just the entire Fever team. I was going to say Aaliyah Boston is almost as bad in terms of the calls against her or calls not called as Caitlin Clark is. But I just want to see if I have a couple like this. We're gonna show this, folks. This was actually called. Let me see if I have the right thing here. I don't like seeing that logo. But this was actually called against. Now she's being grabbed there. She's being nudged a little bit. And then the girl falls on her. Folks, that was called a foul against Caitlin Clark. Yeah, I'm pausing for a second. Dramatic effect. Let it sink in. That was called against Caitlin Clark. No, it is not explainable. That I could just tell you for me as a coach, some other coaches that I know, I guarantee you, if I were coaching the Indiana Fever right here, I would have absolutely 100% gotten a technical and I would have made it worth it. That is appalling that there was basically no reaction from Christie Sides. We did get this. We did get this. I think this was like actually a minute or two later where we got a timeout, I believe. And she's still, because I don't blame her. And Erica Wheeler's like, no, nope, nope, nope. I'm hoping Erica Wheeler got extra. She was on Caitlin duty today, so hopefully she got some hazard pay, some extra pay for that, because that is crazy. And then this is the one. So yeah, again, I got to say it one more time. That play I just showed you, that was actually not a no call. It was a foul called on Caitlin Clark. And then this is a foul called on Aaliyah Boston. A hand to Aaliyah's face. Well, oh, sorry. Let me see if I back this up a little bit. Oh, they're showing it from there. Okay. So we have to wait. I don't know why they showed the replay from there, but watch Aaliyah Boston. She gets a forearm put up in her neck and she gets knocked backwards. And they call a foul on Aaliyah Boston. I want to slow this down again because this is so ridiculous. Again, watch. Aaliyah turns. She sees the shot. She turns. A left forearm to her neck as she is pushed backwards. And she's still standing straight up the whole time. And that was called against Aaliyah Boston. It was challenged by sides and still yet upheld. Absolutely ridiculous. And I still do not know how Christie Sides did not get a technical called. Um, this, I think, this helped get Caitlin going, which is why I want to show this. But again, it also shows you, because this is just odd defensively. If Caitlin Clark got the looks that the rest of the team, and look now, see, that's normal, right? You look at where Caitlin Clark is right now. This is normal. Even on a good 3-point shooter, this is how you would typically defend, right? She is at the 3-point line. Caitlin Clark's a good, what, 8 feet behind it? That's where you defend. If she wants to step in to take the three, you're close enough. You can get a hand up. You can challenge it. But it's Caitlin Clark. So you can't play there. But she does. Well, guess what happens when you play there against Caitlin? She'll take it. And boom. Right? And if that's what's going to happen, if 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 she's defended like normal people, that's what's going to happen. One thing I want to point out, I look, I'm just, man, y'all are going to take this the wrong way, but I will. It's funny, especially how hard I've been on the officiating, and this isn't as much about Caitlin as it is just the state of the game today. Um, watch her feet. Watch Caitlin's feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a walk. I know it's not in today's game, but that's a walk. But I want to go back to this because this is crazy. I want to show you this. Um, Indiana Fever. There was a time in the game. I think it was. I want to say I think it was mostly in the second quarter where it was Caitlin Clark and 4 subs. The other 4 starters were out of the game for a little bit. Now check this out, folks, because this again, I don't think I've ever seen this before. This stood out to me. I'm not sure. Well, yeah, it's just amazing. Look at the plus minuses. Caitlin Clark is the only starter that has a plus in the plus minus category. Again, not a stat I normally pay much attention to because it has a lot to do with rotations and who else is playing and who they're playing against and all that. That you can't just look at it and say, oh, this person was this and compare them directly. But sometimes weird things like this pop out. She's the only starter. And Hull was -3, which is kind of close. But then Mitchell, Boston Smith, I mean, that's in a game you won by a point, -8, -8, -9. That is odd. Dantas +9. By the way, one thing that ticked me off, and that's only in 12 minutes. One thing that ticked me off with Dantas, she only played 3 minutes, I believe, in the first half. Hit two huge, huge threes, 2 for 2, both threes, two huge threes late in the game. They could have easily lost this game, folks, which is ridiculous heading into the playoffs. A lot of people complaining about Katie Lou because she played how much she played. Hey, she was a +4. That means she was 12 different from Mitchell from Boston and 13 different from Smith. And she played with all subs except for Caitlin Clark. Fag Bentley +10 and 18. Wheeler +9 in 14. That's crazy. That is a crazy stat. Now, what does it mean long term? I mean, I don't know. I'd have to watch a lot more film to say, but one of the reasons I find it funny is because, as you've noticed, and we've talked about this before, since Clark has become the player that a lot of people, at least on the fans of Clark's side, have said she's going to be, unlike the Monica McNutts and the Andrea Carters and the Cheryl Swoops and the Gino Ariemmis who are all talking about how she's not built for the league and she's not physical enough and not quick enough and she can only shoot threes and she can't dribble and all this other crap. And everything keeps shifting, right? Every time something happens, they shift the excuses and the reasons. And lately, they've been trying to create division by talking about how earlier in the season it was Aaliyah Boston, right? It was free Aaliyah. And then Aaliyah started adjusting and learning how to play with Caitlin and Caitlin with her. And Aaliyah started putting up big numbers and then that stopped. And then after the break, it was Kelsey Mitchell's the best player on the team. Kelsey Mitchell's the reason they're going to the playoffs. And it was just to create division. And Kelsey Mitchell's not getting her flowers, which of course is nonsense. Caitlin Clark fans who have become Indiana Fever fans are huge Kelsey Mitchell fans. Right? So that's ridiculous. So that's not going to work, people. But I just thought it was funny considering right now that's what all the Caitlin Clark haters are saying. Oh, it's Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell's the key to the team. She's the best player on the team. And yet Caitlin Clark had to play out there with 4 subs at one point, and she's the only starter with a positive plus minus in a win. I thought that was kind of funny. Anyway, and no, that's not a knock on Kelsey Mitchell or Boston or anything. I mean, Mitchell and Boston played well. It's just the way it worked out with some of the streaks of the game. But I want to go through a few other things. First of all, absolutely love this. We're going to show another great pass again, and this goes to back why they've gotten so good offensively and the adjustments they've made for each other. This is the types of buckets Kelsey Mitchell can get. But I want you to see something. I want you to notice something. Look where we are. Up tempo, right? The wings are getting back. They've already got 2 players in their defensive end. Caitlin Clark still is basically foul line extended, 3/4 court, and yet she's going to push. Look at that. 4 players. She just goes by all of them. Kelsey Mitchell says, I know what to do now when Caitlin Clark gets the ball there. Like, look, this is a defense that thinks they've got this under control. Whoop, sorry. And Caitlin Clark, one of the couple of reasons I'm showing this. One, it's just a great play, and it's showing how they've learned to play. Look at Kelsey's almost jogging because she has a big head start, as if she's going to just be in that corner, right? She's going to be in that corner for the 3-pointer. We're going to set up the offense. She sees Caitlin pushing the pace. Now, look, see that acceleration from Kelsey Mitchell? She's like, nope, I'm lulling you to sleep, and I'm going to the bucket because I know I'm getting that ball, and I'm getting a layup. Now, I'm also pointing this out because, again, it probably falls on deaf ears now saying it after a 110-point win. But again, the Wings played no defense. They are a much better team when they push the pace. And I'm not even talking necessarily about full throttle. I'm just talking about being a little more up tempo because truth be told, they're even better in the half court. They're even better in the half court when they shoot early, when they shoot in the first 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds, when they do, when they take a long time for things to develop, they do not have a good enough offensive system or set. And individually as players, they don't set picks well enough or run off picks well enough for it to be effective. The earlier they shoot, the better they are. So let's see if this is now I think this is just Caitlin herself. But again, this is off a made bucket, but she doesn't walk it up. It takes a little bit to develop because she has to pull back out. But she never. That's a tough shot, by the way, and she's looking for the foul there. I can't tell from that angle on that one. But my point being, and this is why I'm saying it doesn't always have to be about full throttle, right? People say, oh, well, they're going to wear themselves out. No, you can push a little bit. You can push the tempo simply by not being so slow and walking it up and still making the defense always have, they never get time to relax. Look, they're clapping hands and drop and while they're jogging back, and Caitlin's like, no, I'm going to go. And boom. And because of that, with the disruption, let me see if I can just get to a set. Because of that, with this disruption, if Caitlin doesn't shoot, right? Now you've got four wings defenders in the paint. Now, unfortunately, this is Temi trailing, although she could go all the way to the bucket, maybe get the foul. So you're not really wanting her to stop and pop from the three. But Katie Lou's coming around. She's wide open for the three. You'll see, I'm going to run it for another second. You'll see Dantas back off and fade to the corner. So if Caitlin were to give this to Katie Lou and someone closes out on Katie Lou, and it may be both, because again, you're making them make quicker decisions in the communication area. So they may both pop on Katie Lou, and then Dantas is wide open for the three. So let me just run this through half thing and just see what else would be there if Caitlin decides, look, Katie Lou's open. If she decides to go there, Fagbenley's open. You've got four players in the defense. Look at them. They're all four, all five really looking, but four in the paint, all looking at Caitlin Clark. Katie Lou's open. She takes the shot, but you know, she could have done something else because she's forced the entire team to collapse into the paint and pay attention to her. I think we've got some other stuff. Oh yeah. Let look. Apologies, seriously, apologies, because unfortunately, Lexi Hull, and shout out to Lexi Hull, was awesome today in just all aspects. She always is. She brings an energy. She brings a defensive tenaciousness. She just goes. She's got that motor that's 100 miles an hour. Never backs down from anything. Absolutely love it. And I have to say that now because I want to show this to again show what they can be up tempo with Caitlin Clark. Unfortunately, it's a play where Lexi Hull does not make a layup. But again, a made bucket, and it's a made three, right? The Wings only have one player under the basket, and yet, push tempo, boom, half court. Look at that pass. Are you kidding me? I don't know if the only thing I can think there, because that didn't even hit the rim. The only thing I can think there is Lexi sort of lost where exactly she was on the court. So she put it up too hard. Like, I don't think she realized that with that catch, she was right under the basket. But again, I wanted to show, even on a make, even when it's a three and the other team has actually gotten back, they are not safe when the Indiana Fever push the pace. They must stop this half court nonsense. Stop it. And I believe this is actually midcourt, right? We worked this out. One of those few times Boston's going to come set a nice pick. And look, she's going to go over it. But look where the defender's playing. Defender's playing in drop coverage. She's not up on the screener so that it can become a switch to where she's going to take Caitlin Clark. So guess what happens, folks? Caitlin says, yeah, well, you know what? I can shoot a 17, 18 footer. I can pull up and make that. I don't just shoot threes. I've got a mid-range game, baby. And I will punish you. And by the way, if they does step up, Boston probably slips away and you hit her for an open shot. This was this was the flagrant that was actually called, but I want to show it. I forget if this is already in slow motion. Yeah, it is. I want to show it because look, I'm not saying that was intentional, right? Like she's going for a block, she got a piece of the ball. But can somebody teach what is it? That's not how you try and block a shot. You don't just swing your arm violently through your entire range of motion on that. That's not how you block a shot. Can we please stop WNBA players from doing this? That needs to be fixed, folks. By the way, on the up tempo, there was another one where she got all the way to the rim for a basket. I couldn't find a clip of it, but it was a turnover caused by Lexi Hull. So Indiana Fever had the ball like three-quarter court. It was in the backcourt on the side. Inbound, Caitlin Clark just goes, and she gets all the way to the bucket for a layup because the defense was not ready. They weren't ready. They weren't set. They weren't expecting that type of pace. There was another one that was where she pulled it up a little up tempo. Boston was ahead of her, like straight ahead of her. Caitlin's going straight up the midcourt. Boston a little bit ahead of her. Toss the ball ahead to Boston. It's not pure what we call fast break, but it was a little bit up tempo, a little bit transition, did not allow the defense to get set. And that is when they were at their best. That is when they're always at their best. And another thing, just to show you what can be a problem, I don't understand this, and this to me goes a little bit to coaching and what the system is. Lexi Hull is the league leader in 3-point shooting percentage right now. Her first three attempt came with 5 minutes to go in the game, and this was a close game. At one point in the second half, I'm trying to think if it did get higher now, but I know at one point in the second half, because the announcer mentioned it, they're not going to lead bigger than 5 points. I think that the Fever after that actually did get a bigger lead, and then the Wings made a run. I don't think it ever got double digits though. Did it? Let me know in the comments. I think 9 was the most, maybe. But Lexi Hull not taking the three till 5 minutes to go in the game, that's insane. That is absolutely insane. I don't know if I have anything else. Oh, I think yeah. Okay, I'm going to show this just because this, fittingly, on a three like this is the bucket that gives her the rookie point lead. Right, little step back three from way out. Boom, hit it. I think that's all I have for you. Oh yeah, that was the Erica Wheeler thing. Oh, you know what? Since I showed that layup because I really wanted to just show the up tempo thing, we're gonna show this. We have to be fair to Lexi Hull. This is, if you remember that crazy three she hit not that long ago to beat the shot clock. This is also to beat the shot clock. So high off the glass. Lex, you did not call that. I'm sorry. You did not call that. So I'm not sure we can count it. But that was crazy. And guess what, folks? They won by a point. They won by a point. I want you to keep that in mind. But yeah, I guess I'm going to leave it there. Look, it was fun. It was kind of fun. I think there's a lot of issues defensively still, obviously. Um, I think they were a little more up tempo today, although I just think that was the vibe of the game, and you almost have to be with the way the Wings play, the way they can light it up, and they're not really a very good defensive team either, so to kind of keep pace. But it'll be interesting to see what happens next game because I believe they locked up the sixth spot with this win. And so let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below because this is always gets interesting. I think even more so in a sport like football, but there's always that, do you rest or not rest? Right now, first of all, the next game I believe is until Thursday, the 19th, right? So they have built-in rest before the final game to the playoffs because then there's always that rest rust. You can't even worry about the injury aspect of it. Get that out of your mind. That's just is what it is. Maybe more for your starting quarterback in football, although they can't get touched anymore. But yeah, you can't worry about that. So it's more about the balancing the rest and allowing the rust. They have till the 19th before the last game. So it's not like the last game is tomorrow, the next day, and then the playoffs are, the day after that. They've got rest built in. You know, because then there's always whenever the heavy seed, like say they get a bye, like in football you can get a bye. In baseball now you can get a bye. And then when the team that gets the bye because they were so good in the regular season, they flame out in the first round and people are like, "Oh, they shouldn't have rested. That caused problems." So, let me know your thoughts. What I'm getting at, sorry, my long windy way is do you think they should rest certain players in their last game? Or maybe players like Boston, um, Mitchell, and Clark, maybe they play 20 minutes or 25 minutes instead of 35. I think that's probably the best compromise. I think maybe those players play 25 minutes. I don't think they should be sitting out, but maybe they play 20, 25 minutes. The other flip side of that is if you win, you secure a winning record, which could be psychological. But let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments below. I wasn't going to go too crazy on the negatives. I know people are just gonna be like, "Hey, they scored a lot of points and they won and shot the ball well and all that." But there are definitely still some concerns for me in the half court offense and defense when it comes to playing better teams. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for checking this out. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and I will talk to you later.